I'm Tim McGarry. I'm the founder of Epoxy Flooring Co. And as of today, we are the largest installer of epoxy systems in Queensland. We have over 300 Google 5-star reviews. We have done over 3,500 epoxy floor installations and have done nearly 175,000 square meters of epoxy floor. Today, I want to speak to you about why most epoxy systems fail in the first 2 years. So, most epoxy floors fail in the first 2 years, some even as little as days or weeks, because it all comes back to a lack of preparation. After all the installations I've done, after all the floors, after all the heartache and pain, I now know one thing to be absolutely true in this industry. Getting epoxy to look good on day one is easy. Getting epoxy to stay there and look that good for 10, 20, 30 years, that's a completely different matter and a much harder story. The absolute key to epoxy success is all about preparation work. And when systems fail in the first couple of years, it's simply because the system was not put down on a properly prepared substrate. So I wanted to chat today about some of the issues that will occur if preparation isn't done properly, and what to keep an eye out for if you're thinking about doing the project yourself, or if you're looking for someone to come in and do it for you. Number one point is moisture. This is a sneaky little bugger, moisture, because most of the time you'll walk into a garage, for example, look at the floor and it just looks like concrete, which is a pretty boring looking thing. And the concrete looks dry. And to the naked eye, yes it is, but lurking underneath that slab, or actually even in the slab, can be moisture. There will be moisture. There will never be a concrete slab that is just zero. The issue is how high that level is and whether or not it's safe to put a coating on top of it. This is where it gets tricky. If you're going to look to do it yourself and you don't have adequate equipment to test the moisture levels, you're basically just shooting around in the dark and hoping for success. The tools that we currently use are very high quality, but they give us an accurate reading, and they're $1,500 each. They're about the size of an iPhone, but absolutely vital for us to determine if the concrete is safe to put epoxy on. What do you do? Okay, if you're a DIY product and you're thinking about having it test yourself and you have any issues related to moisture, you need to test, and here's something you can do at home to check on moisture. Grab yourself like a garbage bag. Get yourself a square, tape it down to your concrete and leave it there. Put it down the ground and tape all around it so it is airtight. So nothing's going in, nothing's coming out. And then watch what happens with that area and check to see over a 24-hour period whether or not condensation starts to appear on the inside of that surface. If it does, that's a problem. That's not ready to have a coating put on it. Now, if this is a DIY project and you're then going to put a coating on top of that, what happens when moisture goes on? It's one of the biggest issues we see in floors done by maybe inexperienced or unlicensed contractors or DIY guys. You see bubbles in the coating. So the coating, if it goes down, sometimes it won't even stick to the concrete if the moisture's too high. But if you manage to get a coating on it, you will often turn up. It can be as soon as the next day, if not days or weeks later. And the coating, if it was a full flake finish, you'll see there'll be a little hump in it. You go up and you can press that hump, it'll be like, almost like a trampoline, just air in it. And that is moisture, a little baby cloud trying to come up through that concrete and causing the coating to bubble. So it pushes the coating up off the concrete. Epoxy is very strong, but it is no match for Mother Nature. And when there's a little baby cloud down there wanting to get up and join the other baby clouds, it will just bubble the coating. That's a problem. If you're in a DIY situation, you need to deal with the underlying moisture issue before you can put a coating on it successfully. If you're looking to engage a contractor to go and do it, ask them what moisture testing they do on your slab before they put the coating down to make sure that, first of all, they even know to do it, and secondly, that they are going to get you an accurate reading. Assuming that your moisture level is all okay and your concrete's ready to go, what are some other issues that happen with epoxy flooring regularly going wrong that could be avoided up front? Hot tire pickup. Let's talk about hot tire pickup. What is it? For those people who don't know, hot tire pickup is where your car drives in, you come in, your tires on most cars after driving for about an hour or even around the block, that tire could be somewhere around 5% bigger as a result of heating. Tire comes in, 60 to 70 degrees. sits on top of a coating and puts 60 to 70 degrees temperature into that floor. Coating, remember, has heated the substrate, the paint, the epoxy coating, whatever may be sitting on it, and it's got this big 500 kilos of weight that's rubbery, that's shrinking. While it's shrinking down, sadly, it's gripping to the floor and it's gripping to the epoxy coating or the paint, etc., which is heating at the same time. That's a massive stress on the floor. What happens if there's a weakness? Something's going to come away. Hot tire pickup is when the coating itself comes off underneath the car tire. How do you make sure that doesn't happen in your garage? If you're doing it yourself, go down to Kennards and hire a grinder and run over the top of your floor. So you take off all the contaminants, all the stains, all the oil spills, etc. If you get a chance to grind your concrete, you've got a much better chance that the epoxy coating is going to stick to it. UV yellowing. You hear the terms UV stability, yellowing, epoxy turning brown, going amber. Epoxy will get sunburned. So we protect epoxy by covering it with flakes. It's incredibly powerful, the sun's rays, and it will turn your epoxy brown in a matter of days, weeks, months, let alone years, if you choose the wrong product. The best thing I can suggest for you, if you're going DIY or you're choosing a new contractor to avoid the problems with UV stability, is to check that they have a warranty that provides protection against the sun's harmful rays. There are products out there that have warranties that cover UV stability, some of them up to a lifetime. In my experience, the best products are made in Australia to use in Australia. If I was living in China or America, I would probably choose a Chinese or American product because they're designed with their environments in mind. In Australia, in Queensland, our sun is extremely harsh. Even in your garage, if it's in a garage, for example, your door comes up, it's not getting direct sunlight all day long, but the sun does come in, or even UV light does come in when that door comes up. And quite often we will see epoxy coatings that at the back of the garage might look fine. In the first 2 meters where that light's coming in and hitting that floor, it's like a totally different color floor. So to protect yourself against that, look for products that are Australian made and look for products that have a UV stability warranty. And if you're doing it yourself, I hope you've got some tips about doing some grinding, getting your preparation right, checking for moisture, and that you ask yourself questions to make sure that whatever coating you're putting down is designed for all the load that's going to be put on it. Hope it's been helpful. And if you've got any questions, fire them back here. Love to answer them and love to help you out.